What if the AI tools everyone's rushing to use in 2025 are only helping some of your customers, but completely ignoring others? In this episode, Steve Chou shares how he transformed his stores, online search, cross-sales, and customer discovery using AI, and how one tweak quadrupled his sales from site search alone. Stay tuned. This isn't about tech for tech's sake. It's about making AI work for your customers. Our guest today is the author of the Wall Street Journal best-selling book, The Family First Entrepreneur, and a highly recognized influencer and speaker in the e-commerce space. He's taught thousands of students how to profitably sell physical products online over at the profitableonlinestore.com. His blog, mywifequitherjob.com, has been featured in Forbes, Inc., the New York Times, Entrepreneur, and MSNBC. So our guest today is Steve Chou, and we'll get to him in a second. But first, let's give a thank you to our sponsors. All right. First of all, we couldn't do this podcast if we didn't have sponsors. And we'd like to thank Seller Board, Sophie Society, Titan Network, Stack Influence, and Connect Cash for your support. All right. Why don't we just get right into it and bring on Steve?
What's up, Norm?
Hey, how are you?
If you are the bearded guy, I am the beardless guy. I cannot grow a beard for my life. This is probably
you can grow hair. You can grow hair.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's a good trade-off. So it hasn't been that long. You were just on the Marketing Misfits where you dropped a lot of interesting information. So I forgot to mention that if people are interested in hearing some incredible marketer and business people, entrepreneurs, check out Marketing Misfits. And Steve's been on there, and it was a really good episode. And that should be coming out probably in a couple of weeks from now. Man, we got so many interviews in the can. Yeah. I wish we could do that with this show, but it's live. But, the nice thing about being live, though, is it's today. So, it's what's happening right now. The topic we have today, AI, it's changing daily. I don't know about you, but just recently, there's been so many things happening. Okay, Nana Banana is out there, but there's so many other things happening with how to, editing suites. That's another thing. Gamma just came out with Gamma 3, which I love. When I'm doing a presentation, now you could just say, you could just tell it exactly what you want, like within a slide. Just say, I want a different format. I want to bring in this information. It'll go out, research it, change up the information. But this is all live. I remember Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, and now I think it just was released yesterday or the day before.
On Nano Banana 2, actually, that's been out for a long time. It was called Flash Image Generation 2.0, and it worked really well already. Yeah, I had been using that. This latest version is even better, but it was already out there. Google is just horrible at advertising, I feel.
I didn't know that's what it was called before, because I was using, that was all in Gemini, right? You had Gemini Flash and you had Gemini.
But it was specifically called Flash Image Generation Experimental as one of the folders. It was very obscure. You had to know to find it.
Yeah. I'm just curious, when you're using when you're using Google at all, do you ever go to the labs to see what they're working on?
I do, but the problem is there's just so many things. It's quite overwhelming, right? So I don't know what to try. So I don't do it that much unless I'm really bored.
Yeah, Flow is one that you should check out if you haven't checked it out.
Okay.
So that is something you could like with Gemini now. You can get all these little snippets. You can keep it consistent. So let's say you have all these 6-second or up to 8 seconds that you can do just throughout the just with a prompt. But they've made it now, and this is something I don't know if this was beforehand, but I just read about it on the weekend that now it keeps everything consistent. So if you have a face, that'll stay consistent. It's not going to look wonky from one scene to another. So you can put together several clips and just put them all together in Flow. And you could just have your, or the other thing, I actually went through school for film. So yes, storyboards, and I'm used to putting together storyboards, but you can do that now in Flow, and it'll create the in-between. Or in Gemini, you can put that and it'll put together the shots in between. So they use an example of a man sitting on a cliff in this rugged environment. And then they want to have the man stand up and then pan over to his face. It's beautiful. It's just, here's the prompt, here's the end prompt, and you figure it out.
Does that membership still cost $200 or?
No, it's free.
It's free now. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't do much AI video generation though. That's generally not my thing.
Because we have brands that we work with, we used to do, well, we still do. We do videos for the brands that we work with, but we just do a lot of it internally now. And it's incredible. Even in Amazon, in the advertising section, in your campaign manager, you can create videos in there. And we've done that, and they're pretty nice videos. And they're typically for your ads that you're running, right? Your video ads, but you could still use them for your listing or for, other types of social platforms that you have out there. But a lot of people don't realize that there's that component right in the campaign manager. Yeah. It's really cool. Have you used that?
No, most of my stuff has been behind the scenes, actually. Not with, I use it for images mainly. So I've been using Nano Banana a lot. On the video side, I've tried it like when it first came out, Flow, back when they were charging. I didn't realize it was free now, and just played around with it. Mm-hmm. But mostly what I do is primarily image related and more on the coding related stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you, and this is just completely selfish. This is just me. I am not a coder, and I am dangerous at best if I even tried to code. I used to dabble around with it way back, like 20 years ago, but nothing since. And I have found the beauty of no code. I mean, it's not perfect, but I've been doing things with Base 44, not Lovable. I've checked out Lovable, but Base 44 just seems to be a little bit more. You can do a little bit more with it, I think. And what you can do with it is incredible. So I'm a cigar smoker. And one of the things that I wanted to create is a really in-depth, comprehensive cigar rating app. It took about 2 days.
Yeah.
It's the best on the market. I mean, I'm a little biased, but it is incredible. And I knew nothing about it. I created the logo, created a tag, created like everything, age verification pages, emails, everything, all within about a 2-day period.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. That's why I think places like the Shopify App Store are in a little bit of trouble, because there's all these apps in there that charge monthly. I think the average cost of the average Shopify app is $66, but you can code a lot of the simple apps on there probably in a weekend, and it's only going to get better right now.
Yeah. And what are you seeing? Like, are you going out, or do you use, the Lovables or the Base 44s?
No. I just, so I'm an electrical engineer. So what's funny is I teach a class, and I was trying to teach it with like make.com and N8N, which are platforms that help you stitch together, a whole bunch of different apps without having to code. And so I started using those myself. And then I realized like it is like 100 times faster just to write the code than to be dragging boxes and whatnot in there. So just in the interest of my own productivity, I just started coding everything. And it's so much easier now because ChatGPT and Claude and Cursor, they'll just write most of the code for you. You just need to kind of know how to read it for right now, at least.
Want more unfiltered tips from top e-commerce experts? Well, hit subscribe and you'll never miss a Lunch with Norm episode. If you don't know anything about code, and this is something that I've always just handed over to somebody who has the experience. And there's certain things you pay for, and there's certain things that you can try to do yourself. This isn't one of them. Like, I'm not going to go in there and try to, write an app for my client. It might be coming down the pipe, but one of the things I forgot to tell you about Gamma, which was really great, is they have an API which goes to Zapier or Make, and all of a sudden, not only can you produce the presentations, but your social media is taken care of. You can go in there, prompt what you want, prompt the styles, and just, I don't want to say just click a button, but click a button. And all of a sudden you're populating, and the content's coming out, different types of content for different days, information that's either curated or stuff that you want to research and just create for sales presentations, content, audio, all sorts of different things. So it's just every day, it's just making things simpler. So I wanted to get into so much, but right now, why don't we just talk about, how AI is improving your online search or on-site search?
Yeah. Okay. So most of the AI stuff that you see out there is mainly for creating content, writing code, or just boosting productivity, right? For the most part, the content that you see out there. So what I wanted to do is I've been spending all my time using AI on how to actually make money directly. All right. And one of the things that I noticed with my store, and this was kind of like a fluke, is I just started looking at I was actually looking for a product on my own store. And what do? You go in your search bar and you just type something. And then I noticed that my on-site search was kind of crappy. So we sell handkerchiefs online. And so I typed in hanky. Like, there's like 10 different ways to spell hanky, by the way. And so I think I made like a typo, and then it didn't turn up. And that got me thinking, like, okay, if I have an errant typo every now and then, my customers must have a lot of typos and synonyms and whatnot. So I just looked at my search statistics, and it was something like almost 60% of the searches that were placed on my site yielded no products. And then 80% of those people actually left the store after not seeing anything. All right. Now, once upon a time, I had spent a lot of time trying to fix this. This is like years before AI. And so I put all the different spellings of hankies and every possible permutation to try to give products whenever someone goes off the rails, when they type in something in the search. But I hadn't revisited it until recently. And so I was thinking to myself, well, this is like a perfect solution for AI, right? Because AI can understand even when someone just types in something wrong, right? And so what I did is I used AI to go through every image and every product on our site. And we have almost 1,000 SKUs. So this isn't like a task that you can do by hand. And I had AI specify every last detail of every product, the use cases, the occasions it might be used for, all the target customer, like describing the target customer very accurately. And I had to put together a pretty good product description. And then I took all that stuff and then put it into what is called a vector database. For anyone who's watching this doesn't know what that is, it's basically turning all that description stuff into numbers. And then now, when someone does a search on our site, it actually turns the query into numbers, queries the database, and then returns the set of products that match the query. So what does that mean? Now, if you just completely screw up typing in whatever you want, it'll still return products that are related to it. For example, if you even put in like the heart emoji, it'll take people to our Valentine's Day line of products. And the stats after I did this were pretty crazy. So now 100% of searches always yield a product. Okay, so there's never a null search. Our sales due to search increased by 4x because of this. And then now it actually represents 22% of our business just from search, whereas it wasn't like that before. It literally took me like 3 days to implement this.
So if you're a seller and you're looking at your Shopify store, wherever you're getting your sales from, and you wanted to implement this, who would you look for if you're going over to what's it called? Upwork. I was going to say Odesk. That's the old one. But if you're going over to Upwork, or if you're going into some area that you can find people that do this, who would you be looking for? Like, what's the description that I could put in there that I would look for? I'd write the description. I'd write all that just like you described, but I need somebody to implement this database.
Actually, there are some plugins that claim to do this in the Shopify marketplace. No one is specific about the implementation. And I guess you don't even need to get in the weeds. As long as your search works better, that's all that matters, right? So there are plugins that supposedly do something similar. But to answer your question, if you were to go on Upwork or Fiverr or whatnot, I would write, I need someone to put all of my products and product descriptions into what is called a RAG database, and then turn my search into an AI search that can look up into this database. So the problem with AI in general, as you probably know when you use ChatGPT, is that it tends to hallucinate, right? By putting everything into what is called a RAG database, you're basically telling AI, only look at what is in the database and do not hallucinate and grab anything from elsewhere. And I know we're going to talk about this later, but I'm working on this customer service bot right now also. Right. So if someone asks, where's my order, it automatically goes, looks it up in my database and returns it. Or if someone wants to know about a store policy or whatnot, you don't want your AI just like randomly looking up some random policy, right? That's not on your site. By putting and limiting AI to only grabbing answers from this database, you can ensure that it always gives an answer that is approved because it's written down on your website.
Important.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool. So it's called a RAG database.
Correct.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, I am not used to this. This is something outside of my realm, but that is really important. I'm going to check that out myself. Confused about Amazon's new split title format? Tap into this episode right here, where PPC expert Brian Johnson shares how to adapt your listing to stay compliant and keep ranking in 2025. Now let's talk about selling and cross-selling, upsells, everything we're used to on Shopify. Not so much you can do on Amazon, but you should be doing this on your Shopify store. So how can you use AI to implement this?
Yeah, so actually you brought up Amazon, and all I really did was just start copying Amazon, because Amazon has all these products that are frequently bought together, and then it's got similar products. It's also got suggested products and whatnot. Out of the box, Shopify does have a free plugin that will show you what's bought together. But the problem with that is that if your products don't have that many sales, it's never populated, right? And if you think about any store, 20% of your products yield 80% of your revenue. It's like the classic 80-20 rule, which also means that 80% of your products don't have any cross-sells. And if that's the case, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, because you always want to be trying to encourage a customer to add as many products to their cart as possible. Okay, so there's a couple things you could do. You could by hand go through and automatically group together similar products that are frequently bought together, because you kind of know what's bought together. Problem with that method, though, is that one, it's canned, and as your library grows, it's impossible to maintain that. And then two, as products go out of stock or they get discontinued, that kind of breaks that handmade database also. And so I noticed that with my products. I noticed, most of the products did not have any recommendations, and I wanted to fix this. So what I did is, once again, I used AI, and I fed it in every single product image on my entire website, and I had it find all similar products so I could populate the recommended products or the similar products. And this might not work with every type of store, but for ours, let's say we sell a handkerchief that has red roses on it. That would imply that people like red roses. And so we show a whole bunch of different products that also have red roses right in the frequently bought together. And that is all done automatically now with AI. So the way it works is, as a first line, we check to see if other products were frequently bought together, and we'll list those first. But if there aren't enough of those, then we have AI find all the similar looking products also. And this has grown. I don't know what my latest data is, but it's basically increased our average order value by almost 20% because people are shoving more things in their cart. And it's I don't know what the latest numbers are, but it's lifted our overall sales by like 14% the last time I had checked.
Just when I started talking about this question, I was talking about you really can't do that over on Amazon. And that's incorrect, because you can come out with virtual bundles. You can do the frequently bought together and, have your products there rather than your competitors. So there are a few things that you can do. I just wanted to correct myself because, like you said, you got a 20% lift. By doing that on Amazon as well, you'll get a nice lift too. I don't know what the exact numbers are right now with frequently bought together. Do you know that?
Oh, by frequently bought together?
Yes.
I can look it up if you give me a sec.
Sure.
Yeah. So one other thing that I started doing is, because AI can generate code so quickly, before I was always a little lax on the reports.
Yeah.
Because like you got to verify that it's correct and everything. But with AI, it's okay. It takes a little bit to populate because it's got to go through all the orders. But the other thing that your out of the box Shopify store doesn't do is it doesn't put these cross sells in the right places, right? It might put it in a product listing, but that's it. But that's actually not where a lot of people add additional items to the cart. One of our highest converting places to do that is after they add something to their cart, we actually have a pop-up window that says, hey, we noticed you bought this. Here are some products that are frequently bought together. And that's actually the has the highest rate of add to carts for a cross sell on our site.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay, what was the question?
Okay, it was, what's the percentage, the bump that you get for frequently bought together?
For frequently bought together, it is okay. So it's the total lift of everything is about 15%. The frequently bought together by itself is about 7% of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about, and again, we're talking about Shopify. How do you find these new customers? How do you find your best customers?
Okay. So this is something that we've been doing manually for a very long time. And let me just give some stats about my shop here, just for your watchers. Mm-hmm. So it turns out that about 46% of our customers, so our average order value is about $60, right? 46% of our customers spend less than half of our average order value, but that's actually most of our customers. Roughly about 10% of our customers spend more than double our average order value, or over $120. Okay. But if you look at the revenue, those 10% that spend over 2x our average order value, actually makes up almost 50% of our sales. Whereas those people who spend less than half of our average order value, which is most of our customers, only makes up about 12% of our customers. What that means basically is that we should be focusing on our best customers. There are not as many of them, but if we focus on them, that actually leads to a much bigger result in terms of revenue. Now, the question is, how do you find those customers? In the past, we used to maybe once every 2 or 3 months manually go through our order list for people who spent or bought a large amount of linens. Okay. But, things would fall through the cracks, and it's actually not that easy to spot some of these people. So what I did now is I fed all of our order information into AI. And I had it tell me which are the event planners, the wedding planners, and the larger customers who might potentially buy in bulk. And it's very interesting. So we feed in not only the products that they purchased, but also the data purchase. And in addition to what sort of personalization that they put on each product. So we're in the wedding industry, right? If we find that someone has made multiple purchases, but like the names are different, or the dates of the wedding are different, that kind of indicates that it's a wedding planner, right? So we do think this is what we feed into AI. We feed in the name, email, phone number, every single order they've ever made, including the personalization. And we also have a tie into LinkedIn that feeds in their LinkedIn profile also, if it's available. And it also does a Google search on their name. Feeds all that in. AI gives us a number from 0 to 1 on the probability that person is an event planner. And for anyone over a 0.6, which means like a 60% probability, we actually give them a call. And we say, hey, by any chance, are you an event or wedding planner? If you are, here's the coupon code, here's a dedicated rep. And we will have someone handle your order personally, make sure it gets there on time.
That's very interesting. So you're going through, I was going to say, how are you tagging these people? But you're just taking each field and monitoring whether this person, XYZ company, is ordering multiple times from you or has a different, not event, but a different wedding date, a different person attached to that wedding date. So you're just
we don't do that. We just feed it all into AI and it tells us.
Huh.
And it works really well. Like here, let me pull up you should see these reports. It's like here, let me pull one up because I had this like whole database now of okay, so let's see.
You know what would really skew your report is I knew this guy in Tampa. Okay, yeah, his nightclub owner. He was married 13 times. So yeah, yeah, yes. He might be an event planner.
Well, see, he might be an ideal customer too, because chances are he's going to get divorced again. Yeah. So hit him up. Okay, so the ones that have email addresses that have some sort of company are probably like the easiest ones to pick out.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of people on here that have Gmail addresses. And let's see if I can find one that's a little less obvious here. Because some of these are like outrageous. Like this customer has spent $53,000 on your store. Obviously, they're an event planner. But here, okay. Here's someone who has an AOL account, right? Oh, you wouldn't expect an AOL account. Okay, so the AI analysis said this customer has made multiple purchases over several years, often involving large quantities of personalized items, indicating coordination for others because the names and the dates are different. The pattern of orders aligns with event planning activities, and it gave this person a 0.9. So something like that, right? You might overlook it because if you're looking at individual orders, this person places like, between $70 and $100 each time, but you wouldn't guess just from looking at her orders. So.
That's great. These reports you're doing, they're fantastic.
And this is something that I would not have done years ago, but now because of AI, like, look, I mean, you created that Cigar app in a weekend, right?
Yeah.
And so I can pump out like these reports in like 30 minutes or an hour and have them like a permanent part of my website.
Everything's changing so quickly. Oh my gosh. Hey, we're at the bottom of the hour, and if you're new to the podcast, we do something a little bit different at the top of the hour, and that's something called the Wheel of Kelsey, and that's where we give away a prize. So today, I was just thinking something we could do, and Kevin will probably shoot me for this, but haven't asked him, but he has something called the BDSC. And that's the $1 Billion Sellers Club, where every week they bring together people and they have these just in-depth discussions with these experts in the industry, not just Amazon, but a variety of different people. I think I can give away 3 months of BDSC. And Kevin, if you're listening, just shoot me an email. But let's do that. Let's give away a 3-month membership to BDSC. And check it out. Now, I know I get the emails. I see the content. It is incredible. Have you been on BDSC?
I have. I just did an office hours, I think, with him. And that's the Circle community, I believe, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. It's Kevin's, right?
It's Kevin's, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a great club, a great mastermind to be part of. Plus, there's all sorts of discounts like that. I think, what was it, his virtual event? If you were part of the BDSC, it was free. So 3 months of that. If you're interested, #Wheel of Kelsey. tag 2 people, you get a second entry. And we have changed. We're not doing it at the top of this hour. The top of this hour will be from last week. So we'll be showing that it'll be next week that we'll do the Wheel of Kelsey for that BDSC giveaway. Now, there is one other way. Go to our newsletter, lwn.news, and you can enter there as well. Okay, so Kels, I think we can go over to a sponsor and then we'll come right back. Hey sellers, Q4 is coming fast. Are your products ready to dominate? AZRank is your partner for accelerating sales across the most important marketplaces. Their customized campaigns boost your visibility, make your brand impossible to ignore, and give you the crucial data that you need to win. Launch new products with a surge of external traffic, maintain top ranking and conversion rates for your best sellers, and bring old listings back to life. Play it smart, prepare now, and give your products the boost they deserve this Q4. Visit azrank.com and unlock your product's full potential today. The link's in the description. Now back to the show. I'm just going to take one question before it had to do with the beginning of the podcast. We were talking about RAG databases. And DripFit just asked, is it expensive to do a RAG database?
No, none of this stuff is expensive at all. In fact, everything that I've done with all this stuff is pretty much free. Believe it or not, so one thing that I also developed, since I have a class, I have a YouTube channel, I run an event called the Seller Summit. I recently put all the content, so I transcribed everything, and I put all of that content into a RAG database so that now you can just ask it questions. I call it SteveBot. And it will look through all the transcripts and return the answer and give you a link to the exact lesson, YouTube video, podcast, or whatever that gave that answer, right? I'm using a tool service called fly.io, which is basically a server that houses all this stuff. And it is 100% free as long as your traffic levels are below a certain amount. But that traffic level is actually pretty large. So I actually haven't hit the limit yet. So literally all this stuff can be free.
And so you can set it up fairly easy. Can you just use ChatGPT to say, how do I set up this RAG database in Fly.io?
That is exactly how I learned. Like I knew nothing about any of this stuff. That's the thing. You know what I really love about ChatGPT is I'm not afraid to ask dumb questions. Like, Norm, let's say I asked you to help me do something with Amazon or whatever, and I was clueless. I would feel a little apprehensive about asking you all these basic dumb questions. Maybe not you, Norm, because you're really nice. But for like other people, I might not be inclined to ask. But with ChatGPT, I'll ask it all the dumb questions that I have and get answers. And so you can learn really quickly. Yeah. None of this stuff is rocket science, by the way. Like I know the concepts are new for you guys listening to this, but as long as you know what to ask ChatGPT, you can get it to write and tell you how to do everything.
I'm going to ask you, you've probably been asked this a million times. Are there any magic tips that you can give us about writing a prompt? Now, act as blah, 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 blah. But do you have anything that you can tell the audience that would help write a better prompt?
For what purpose, Norm?
Well, it could be, I'm just talking in generic. Like, is there something that you can, like, we all know, I think most of us know that you should tell it the style, the tone, act as, but is there anything else that you can help us make it just a better prompt? And I'll give you one of my tips in a second.
Okay. I think one thing that I always do, once I start, I actually ask ChatGPT to write me the prompt. Like I ask it, what sort of prompt would I need to give you to get this information? And it usually writes something that's really elaborate.
Right.
And then I just edit that elaborate thing to what I want. Here's another tip, actually. I do this all the time. I say, hey, create me, like, let's say, write me a YouTube script about this. Ask me questions until you are 95% sure that you know what I want. And then it'll usually ask me like 20 questions, and then I fill it all in, and then it gives me something that's pretty close.
Man, you took...
Oh, did I take yours?
Yeah, but that's so important, is just to ask. And like you said, it'll come back and it'll tell you how to write a better prompt. And I do this with images. And with images, I'll just ask it. And like within that cinematography, the film course that I was involved with when I went to college, you're also into photography. So I know a bit about photography. I had a photo studio for a while, so I could tell it to act in a certain way. But all I would do is act as an experienced photographer or nature photographer, outdoor photographer, blah, 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 and give me your prompt or make this prompt. How would you make this prompt better? And it would come out with the shutter speed, the aperture, depth of field, and it would be a longer prompt, which is great. And I would just plug that in and I get a great result. But the other thing, and I might have talked about this when we had our Marketing Misfits podcast, and this got prompted by Kevin's Market Masters, where you have a think tank. And the problem is the hot seat. And I've made probably 20 different people like that I go to all the time. And I pull 8 of them into the hot seat. I get the hot seat to really describe what the problem is. Then I have the people talk back and forth and ask questions. And then I'll say, refine these questions. I don't like any of them, or refine these. It's not down to the base problem. And then it'll come back to me with some really great information. So I just make it a hot seat, a think tank. And, but you would just go, like if I had, Kevin on there, you on there, I have Perry on there, I have Mark DeGrasse on there. So there's a bunch of people that I just pull from, and they just battle. And you can see the questions going back and forth, or the answers going back and forth until they give you the final resolution. We do that with our YouTube thumbnails, and we do it with our titles as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
The other one tip I have, since we're talking about this, is I hate how ChatGPT just always agrees with me. So under personalization settings, I always say, take a contrarian view to whatever I say and always give me the pros and cons. And then I always ask it to give me a number on a scale 1 to 10, prioritizing like the answers. That doesn't apply to everything I ask, but I often ask it to compare things for me, like different titles, different thumbnails, like you were saying.
Oh, if you ever want to feel like you want ChatGPT to kick you in the legs, or no, an LLM to kick you between the legs, I just go to Grok Unhinged.
I 100% agree with that. Oh man.
Yeah. So, okay. If you haven't been there, go out there, check it out, ask it a question, and you'll be surprised. Let's get back to these hallucinations. So we touched on it, but once again, what's the best way to build a chatbot with no hallucinations?
Yeah. So you have to just give it all the content that you want, and you put together your own database to pull that data from.
And that goes into that RAG database.
That RAG database. Otherwise, it'll just start grabbing stuff from anywhere, right? That it's trained on.
Right.
Yeah.
You just gave me such a great idea, because I've been trying to write a nonfiction book or a fictional book, and the hallucinations are crazy. And I wonder if I could put all the relevant information about the book into a RAG database so it could always refer back to it rather than hallucinating 3 chapters in.
You absolutely can. It is not rocket science. I mean, I can explain exactly what's going on if anyone's interested. All it is it takes that transcript and it breaks it up into chunks. And the reason why you have to break it up is because you can't feed like an entire book into AI. Maybe now you can actually. But that way, like whatever question you're asking it can be compared to a smaller subset of stuff, right? And then so essentially you're just breaking up all this text into chunks and then just summarizing the answer that's contained within the chunk. That's literally all that's happening. It's not rocket science.
Okay, now I've got a question. I told you that we were going to be talking about this, or we mentioned it, but I can't wait to get into this. So how about let's discuss how AI, how to use AI with customer service? I'm all ears. And this is, by the way, using voice.
Yeah. Okay. So I am not live with this yet, but I've been playing around with it. I've been using 11 Labs for this because it's pretty good. But I have a buddy. He buys and sells land. That's what he does to make money. And he put together this voice bot that's incredible. Basically, what he's using the voice bot for is to qualify leads. Like, so he asks the bot to ask a series of questions. And then I wish I had the phone number still here. Like, we can have the audience actually call because he's very proud of this bot. And I called it, and, it sounded like a real human. There were no awkward pauses or anything. Like, if I didn't know I was talking to a bot, I probably wouldn't have put it together. And I tried to put it off kilter. Like, I even started being belligerent and whatnot. And it was just very nice, like a regular customer service agent would be. And it got all the information from me it took a lot longer because I was being, I guess, a dick, on purpose. But it got all the information. At the end, it was like, yeah, thank you. Based on our conversation, you're probably not a good fit for this. So I called back and I gave different answers, and they were like, oh yeah, hey, I tell you what, let's book an appointment. We can have a further call with my friend. And then the bot actually scheduled an appointment that made it onto my Google Calendar and his Google Calendar. This got my wheels turning. And this applies to stuff that you and Kevin and everyone's working on, right? Imagine if you had a way to just qualify leads into the community, for example. People just want to talk to someone. And this particular bot did not say up front that it was a bot, which I'm not sure if that's good or bad. But
that's
I couldn't tell though. I couldn't tell though.
Okay. I'll tell you a legal issue that came up. So I think a friend of ours, she had an AI customer service, but it was typing, right? It's just like a chatbot. And these jerks that are out there that are trolling these websites, small businesses, they first hit her for an ADA compliance issue, but she had the little symbol. It worked. But then they noticed that she didn't have in her chatbot, she didn't say that it was an AI person, okay, or an AI answering it. It wasn't human. Get this. She got fined $125,000 along with a whole bunch of other people that this lady from Florida sued all of these people, and she got a ton of money. Like I know a lot of this. I was telling people years ago, you got to get ADA onto your in e-commerce websites. You have to do it, or you could get sued. And I think the stats were over 7,600 small businesses were sued by people like this one lady in Florida, but she got 125,000. So I'm wondering what legal compliance is for a situation like you're just describing.
I actually just had a lawyer come talk to the class about this. The number of ADA lawsuits has gone way down in the last couple of years because there was some case where they lost or something like, I can't remember the contents. But basically, whether or not those lawyers can win with those ADA lawsuits has been drastically reduced.
Really?
Yeah. This is like as of 2 years ago or something like that.
Wow. Well, this is last year. We were on our train ride. Okay. Our CMS 2.
Let's see if I can pull that up.
Yeah. And it was $125,000. And she was, she got nailed hard.
Okay.
And there was 3 things. And I think the other one was the refund compliance. So did she have the currency and a refund policy on her website? And that one she had as well. But they were going
asking Steve Bot here because I had this lawyer on. We had an hour discussion about this. He was telling us that ADA is less of an issue now, but something else popped up that is more of an issue. I just can't remember what it was. I actually hate those trolls, right? Yeah, like that's all they do for a living. Yes, is sue people for these stupid things.
Yeah, trademark. All these stupid things.
Yeah. That's terrible though. Did she pay it?
Yeah, she had to pay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she had to pay. Yeah. So, anyways, I just wanted to throw that in there because I just remembered that. And could this be an issue in the future for these jerks to come after people? Let's go back to the using the voice. So when you were on the phone, you couldn't really tell the difference?
I could not.
Wow.
I could not. I was expecting to hear like a delay.
Yeah.
As it, but the delay at some points it was a little long. But like if I like I said, if I didn't know, I would have thought that the delay was just due to this customer service rep being in across the country somewhere or like in a different country.
Yeah, and I guess that's going to be an area where we're going to be looking at next, right? So getting the customer service out of the human hands. Like I even know I work with this one neurotherapist, and I do a website for him. And people don't mind a chat bot. If they want to get a hold of you, can they talk to a real person, or can they call? And a lot of people, if they're having an issue or they just don't want to talk to chat, they want to talk to somebody. So we have a service, I forget I think it's called Apex, and it'll click over to a person in the Philippines 24/7 that'll take the call. It costs $10 for them to talk to a real person, and then they'll schedule an appointment for the doctor. But at least they get to talk to somebody. This is kind of what you're talking about is completely like no more phone center. Talk to the talk to the to 11 Labs, and that's it. By the way, I use NotebookLM or NotebookLM
Okay.
a ton.
Really? And what's your use case?
I use it. Well, I use it for the podcast. I use it for just anything. Well, just cigars. I use it for hobbies. So let's say cigars. I use it for like understanding things a bit more thoroughly, what people are saying. I might take any type of deep research that I would do in ChatGPT, throw it over into NotebookLM, but I do a ton with the podcast and getting it to dive deeper into a certain topic. So I could take our topic today and pull out any of these questions, get it to search the internet more for more in-depth questions coming in from Gemini. But then what I do is with the deep dive itself, I'll direct the questions like from the source, ask it a question, and then I can take that information. I can either keep it as an audio, or what I can do, it's the single source now. What's it called? It's not the two of them talking. It's only the one talking. And it's so much better. But if I can figure that one out, I'll put it in the chat. Okay. But what I'll do then is I'll take that and I'll bring it over to HeyGen. And with HeyGen, I swap out speaker 1 or speaker 1 and 2. I cut out the crap words in certain instances, I'll go NotebookLM. I'll import the transcript into Descript. I'll take out the crap that I don't want in there. Yeah. And then I'll bring it over to HeyGen. HeyGen, I'll find the speakers that I want or the speaker that I want, and you're all set.
And what do you do with that content?
Publish it.
Oh, you're publishing, okay.
Yeah.
HeyGen content?
Yeah.
With you or with a random avatar?
No, it could be me. So over at 11 Labs, if I get my voice, I could be speaker 2. So I could be talking, or I could be talking as, and again, there's that new piece that they've put in where it's only one person. Oh, it's the slideshow. It's the slideshow. Okay. When you do the videos, right? It's only one person talking. So I can be the person talking if I have my voice generated over at HeyGen.
Yeah, I've had mixed results with HeyGen. Like I don't feel like I trained it on me.
Yeah. And
then the 11 Labs voice is okay because we have so much content, right? But the HeyGen never looks completely natural to me. Have you had good luck with it?
It depends on the circumstance. So yeah, it's not 100% there yet, but there's going to be there's going to be new platforms out there where you can have the avatar. And I forget there's another one out there that's really good. I'm old, forget these things, but I bookmark everything, right? Yeah. But I saw something come out about a month ago that was pretty darn good, with interviews. So it's just a matter of time. And by a matter of time, I mean, it could be this week, it could be a month from now, it could be, 3 months from now, but it's going to change. But these are the certain things that you can do to publish and create your own podcast, to go out there and, like, I could take that Hey Gen video and the notebook video, and it's a slideshow. Right. It says NotebookLM on it. That's fine, but it's still content.
Right.
And then what you can do with that content, by the way. So if we're doing something with you, and we do something within Notebook about this, I could publish it out there, but I could also create a press release about you. And what is Google looking at for authority right now? I can look at the trending questions, or the questions that people are asking about this topic, and I can write a press release about that, answering the question, and it will get summarized in Google by Gemini, and it'll also be through the LLMs. Yeah. So I just did this. You know Colin Campbell?
I know who he is. I don't.
So I just did this with Colin Campbell, and within 5 hours, all the information was in all the LLMs, and he was summarized in Gemini.
Yep. They're going to close that loophole at some point, because people are abusing that, the press release thing like crazy right now, among other things, actually.
Oh yeah, they're going to, but why not take advantage while you can?
Yeah.
And all we're going to do is move on to the next thing, right? Yeah. That's our job. Find those loopholes.
Find the loophole. Kevin's the king of loopholes.
That's right.
You know what's funny is I'm looking at my feed right now for YouTube, TikTok, and whatnot. I would say a good 40% of it is AI generated now. Mm-hmm. And I think, once everyone jumps on the AI bandwagon, people are going to start craving human content more, like I do right now. Like, I can't stand the AI stuff now. And I think we're going to hit a tipping point at some point where people are going to want to see real people.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I learned a trick the other day about spinning the content. ChatGPT, when you copy and paste, is watermarking the content. So it automatically knows that, it's AI. And how you just take this, you bring it over to like an app that'll basically spin it or remove the formatting from it. And then you can put it into your blog article. So it's a little bit of a safeguard. There's so many little things that are happening, but just on your note about people craving human, one of the prompts that I have is to make a few mistakes, grammar, punctuation. And so when people see it, it's minor. Like, I'm Canadian, so I might say mix up color, or color, like OUR, like favor, and just make a spelling mistake, or mix them up. But it's all in the prompt. So I don't say the word specifically, but I could just say make some minor spelling mistakes.
Interesting.
Use it in a different context. So there, or whether, just do something and just make it innocent.
That's actually a pretty good tip. You know what I still hate too? Like, when it writes text, even if I tell it not to use M dashes, it still freaking uses M dashes.
God, I've got that. I've specifically told it not to use those bloody M dashes, and then I'll come back. Did I not say not to use the M dash? I know. Yeah. I know. That's the biggest giveaway.
Yeah, it's a problem. Like, it doesn't listen to you, but I guess it's like a normal human.
Yeah.
Right.
I was watching the news, and I know we're past the time, but I was watching the news this morning, and there was a quote that had come in from one of the papers, the publishers. And I'm reading it, and I'm going, is it just me? But is this segment, it's not ... It's M dash. And then the next sentence, like 2 sentences down, was M dash. I'm going, is this AI generated?
It probably is. Good Lord. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. All right. So I think that's the end of the show. We went over a little bit. If people want to get in contact with you, Steve, how do they do that?
Yeah, the easiest way is to just go over to mywifequitherjob.com. I do have a free 6-day mini course if you guys are interested in selling on your own online store. And I also run an annual e-commerce conference called the Seller Summit. The next one is going to be next April in 2026.
All right, very good. And if you talk to anybody that's been there, it's one of the top events out there. So it's one to put on your calendar. All right. So I think let's go to a sponsor, then go to the wheel, and then we're out of here. Are you an Amazon seller that checked out your listing and said, it should be doing better? What am I doing wrong? There's got to be a better way. Well, guess what? There probably is. You just haven't had someone tell you exactly what's working and what's not. Flat World Network is for frustrated Amazon sellers. We'll take a look at your listing, your rank, your PPC, your traffic, and guess what? We're going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly about your listing. And if you're interested, we'll even fix it for you. So if you're serious about scaling, go to flatworldnetwork.com and book your free audit today. All right, we are back.
All right, so let's shuffle up these names. These are for the Brian Johnson Rank Ready audit. Steve's giveaway, or the BDSC giveaway, will be next week on the live podcast. So let's see who today's winner is. I'm going to spin one, and then we got.
Oh, he gave away a few, right?
Yeah, he's giving away 3. So
hey, Steve, you won it.
I did.
So we got Steve. We got 2 more to do. We've got Drip, and really quickly,
congrats, Drip.
Gotta remember all these. Okay, and our last winner is Simon. All right, congratulations. We'll be reaching out to all of you for Brian Johnson's Rank Ready audit, and we've got our giveaway for BDSC next week on the podcast.
Yeah, so check out the newsletter if you want to enter for the next giveaway. Steve, we got through it.
Thanks for having me on, Norm. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's been great. Thanks for tuning in today. We could not do this podcast without you. Thank you to the sponsors, and we will see you next week.
Mantra.